be live.
Okay. Which theme song?
Back again without Josh. He's in the aeroplane.
What's up? How you doing, man?
Good. Josh is in an airplane right now, going to Worlds.
What, he couldn't broadcast from the airplane then?
I know.
They had live.
They have Wi-Fi.
That's what I'm telling you.
What
He
a
should have
bum.
done it on his phone.
What a bum. We make that YouTube money. I could have paid for it.
That's it.
You know. How's it going, Tim?
Not too bad, brother. How you been, man? I know you got a bad problem with your shoulder right now.
Yeah, well, it's not really held on by anything but my rotator cuff, so.
Better than some people's elbows when they, held on by skin.
Yeah, well, if I figured if I'm gonna do it, I might as well just break it, all the way.
Yeah, it hurts less.
It does hurt less, to be honest with you. Like we were talking before, when I first tore it, like in 2009, that hurt. That was terrible. That felt like somebody stabbed me in the shoulder, right in the back of the shoulder, and it hurt for a good year like that. And
I never even knew that happened.
yeah, well, I mean, I always had trouble. That's why I had trouble for so long with side pressure. I didn't really have any good side pressure left-handed. I had really good back pressure and rotation, but my side pressure was always bad. My right hand, but my right arm side pressure was great. I could always hook real well and all that, but my left I never could. It's just that it wasn't so much that it was weak as that there was no stability.
Yeah.
And, when I went out to Maine there and pulled Mr. Ron Armini, we finished it off, seemingly.
That was a good match. It was a great match.
It was a good match. I went into that. Honestly, I had the plan to go get looked at and everything a month before that match. I was not confident.
You might as well finish it off. Never mind. Don't go halfway.
Right. And, it was the first time I ever prepared for somebody and my training went really not good.
All the matches I pulled out for PAL, immensely. If you're preparing for one person, it's so much easier to go to a tournament.
I think so too.
Definitely.
You get one game plan, especially if you have a good team around you to really just kind of tell you this is what we should focus on, this is what you don't really need to focus on so much. Yeah. It makes it so much mentally easier just going into training knowing I'm going to make these improvements.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, I had every match we pulled out there. I think except for Sylvia. I think none of us really knew about Sylvia.
Yeah.
The rest of them, we had a definite game plan, and it went exactly like we trained for. And that's a really easy thing. I'm having a hard time right now. We got a match coming up in Poland. I'm the only one that doesn't know who I'm pulling.
Oh, you don't?
No, I thought I was going to pull Trubin, but I guess Mr. Chafee got Trubin. I don't know who I'm getting.
Yeah, you told me maybe there was one possible name, but I didn't recognize it, and you said you weren't sure. But
did you look it up?
Yeah, I tried.
It's much. We got a kid from Slovakia. He pronounces it like perfectly.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I can't. It's a long. I think he said he's Georgian. He's big boy.
Okay. Yeah,
I guess.
And those guys who are like Saleev, the big problem with him is that he's balanced.
Oh God, yes.
He's not bad anywhere.
No.
There's certain guys that they're not necessarily bad anywhere, but they're really, really good somewhere, and that's where they're going to try to go. So it's really easy to kind of formulate something against those guys.
Oh, definitely. There's certain pullers out there I don't want to say that are immense monsters that get them into straps and they turn into little puppy dogs.
Sure.
And it's crazy, it's that strong and that good, that fast, and the strap should make it even better, make it easier for them, and it doesn't.
Yeah, you know what kills me is that there's so much information out now. Everybody has footage on them. Like if you're a good puller, you can't hide it. People are gonna film you. People are gonna post stuff. We have so much information on how to get strong, and you have X amount of months to prepare for somebody. And you know what they're going to do to you for the most part. And you have you still have a weakness unless you're hurt. How do you still have a hole in your game plan? At least that's not been improved quite a bit.
Well, up until now, no, I haven't. I've gone in there pretty much, you know.
No, I mean anybody.
Yeah.
You know, when
Yeah.
when you
Well,
make
shit,
when you make a plan for somebody and it's like it goes perfectly, that means that if you can see a hole in somebody's game from video and from really far away,
oh, definitely.
and then you show up and it's still there, you know.
That's what I'm trying to get. I got to get a hold of Igor and find out what's going on, so I know who I'm training for and how to prepare.
Right.
You know, I just, like I said, I was getting ready. I started doing this new something a little different. A lot of hard back pressure, and I'm slow. I'm really slow at it, but it's unbelievably strong. So I'm working on that right now, but I'm not pulling Trubin anymore, so I don't know if it's going to be any good. So it's I used it last 2 weeks ago when I pulled Corey and Joe Y at the Wilcott Fair.
Sure.
And it was, I mean, I pulled Joe up off his feet. It's strong. Like I said, slow, really slow.
Right. So are you working on, is this something that you're strengthening mostly on the table or mostly in the gym?
Hardly any in the gym. I haven't had time to hit the gym except for at my house ever. I mean, once or twice. I mean, I've got so much work I've been doing on my farm. I haven't had time to get to the gym. I mean, I work out at my house now. I'm doing a lot of high rep stuff. I mean, 400, 500, 600 reps of whatever I'm doing. And it seemed to be helping. I mean, I'm strong.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not as big as I was. I don't think. My muscles aren't as as engorged, but it seems to be helping. I'll go down and do 600 reps for shoulders, all within 20 minutes. Not heavy weights, 110 pounds. Or same thing with curls. Do 70-pound curls. Do 400 or 500 of them. Do them in 20 minutes or so. But nothing heavy yet. And I gotta get back to the gym so I can start really pounding the weight. Yeah.
I mean, you've always been somebody who, in my experience of being around you, and it makes sense because of how much output you're really giving out there, that when you have a match set up and then you're done with it, and afterwards you usually drop about 10, 15 pounds. And
10 to 20 pounds.
Yeah, and I mean,
easily.
And you still come to train and everything, and you train hard, but when you have that, okay, we have 8 weeks to prepare for this. I'm going to take 2 weeks off, so I have 6 weeks. You always have bumped up. You made sure that no matter what, you're getting in that gym and making some serious weight move.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I can't. I don't know. Like, I don't want to sound like age has got a lot to do with it too. I mean, six weeks of hard lifting is tough.
Yeah.
So I mean, any more than that, you got to rest your body. This last year has been. I mean, I've healed up pretty good. My elbows and my shoulder feels pretty good. I mean, I still have a little bit of problem with the shoulder, but nothing on the table anymore.
Yeah.
I've the last couple weeks of practice, I've been banging. I've been staying on the table as much as I can. So working out well.
Yeah, and I saw you in Maine, and you didn't pull that day, but I was like I told you, I was happy. You looked really healthy.
Felt good.
Yeah, and I mean, with your illness and everything, it's. I mean, how much has that trained how you prepare for things?
Oh God, it's totally changed things around.
Yeah.
I don't have the time. I stopped even lifting left-handed. When I was training for the last couple of guys I pulled last year, it was all right-handed training. Mm-hmm. Very little left hand. So my left arm is like not even half the size anymore. But that's what I had to do. I mean, if I wanted to train as hard as I needed to train right-handed, I had to skip left hand because it just wore me out.
Yeah, I mean, and it goes back to, like I said, your output that you have. Guys like me, I'm 170 pounds. I can train really hard all the time because my body is used to outputting as much as a 170-pound man can output.
Yeah.
When you're a 300-pound man, and it goes for, Devin's spoken to it too, where, when you prepare and you peak for something that's, as hard as you've ever done, you need a long time to kind of just cool off and come down from that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that last year I didn't have any time.
Right.
Because I pulled the first match, then I was supposed to pull Vovoda, and they stuck Krasimir in, and then I was supposed to pull again in January, and then they postponed it again. So I had almost a year of straight hard training with a little couple of breaks in between. By the time I had pulled Suliev, I couldn't go to Poland last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think Igor was a little irritated with me, but I mean, I had nothing. I would have looked like a fool. I was sore. I was just sore.
Well, I think you kind of learned that lesson the year before when you did go to Zloty and you just
God.
You just came back. You're like, guys, I don't know. I just did not feel right.
No.
And, and we all saw, the pictures before. We're like, oh, Tim's just he's already worn out. I mean, I don't think, even maybe just in the PAL circuit, but really honestly, as far as taking matches, like one-on-one matches, and not backing out of them and always just accepting them. I can't think of another arm wrestler who just, whatever you need. You've always been there for Igor to try to make that shit happen.
That killed me when I pulled Pushkar, though. I didn't have much there.
Well,
I just pulled Devin.
Yeah, well,
I've been bugging Igor for 3 years for that match. I couldn't turn him down.
Yeah, and maybe what a lot of people don't know, and I mean it's on YouTube, you can watch it. But Devin was supposed to pull Arson that day, and he said nope. And he said nope, no thanks, because his elbow. That was right before he got elbow surgery.
Yeah,
I mean it was 3 weeks after your guys' match. Because he pulled left-handed that day.
Yep.
But it's like, he even spoke on it saying, I understand Tim wants to make Igor happy and he wants to be out there and prove himself and everything, but that's the match that we had 3 weeks later to pull someone like Pushkar, and the fact that you even beat him that first match.
Oh, I thought, but second I popped something in my chest, my brachialis on the second or third match.
Right.
Devin came over and says, "You okay?" I'm like, nope. Just gonna make it look good as possible because there's no way I can win.
5 more. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah, that's it. But I remember that Devin's face just kind of went blank. It's like, "You okay?" Nope. Okay.
And
I guess you saw out the window.
Well, yeah. I mean, what are you gonna do? You're already there. I mean, at least you got the one. But
Yep.
And also talking about like when you were going to pull Vovoda and you said, I was going to pull Vovoda, then they put Krasny in. I think that match was on and off, 3 or 4 times?
3 times.
How?
3 times.
I mean, I was around you at that time, and I know how frustrated you were with it.
Oh, God, yeah.
But in terms of like peaking and like, making sure that you're in that perfect shape and you're really, really, you're big, you're strong, you've really worked super hard.
Yeah.
How frustrating is that to work really, really hard to make sure you're peaked and ready for this guy, and then have it keep following through? Like, how much does that affect your training and your brain?
Oh God! I mean, after the January one, I was talking to Igor. I was like, "Come on, this guy he keeps. What is he trying to do?" I said, "I don't do. Is he trying to the peaking part? I don't juice." I don't care what anybody says. I don't juice. But I think he thought that was going to screw my cycle up, which I didn't have one. I told you, I said, he can't screw my cycle up because I don't have one.
Yeah.
I said, if he's planning that, he does. The only cycles I have is the way I lift. I lift 3 days a week, and when I get ready for a match, I lift 5 days a week.
Right. And that's what I meant by, peaking.
Yeah, I understand that. No, I understand that. But I try hard to say, explain what I mean by
absolutely. People will take whatever they want from it.
Yeah, I mean, like I told Igor, I says, if he's trying to screw up my cycle, I don't have a cycle, guy. I'm getting ready for the match, and he keeps pulling Krasimir and pulling Vovoda is totally just the opposite of what you got to do.
Sure.
I mean, you definitely don't want to go to hook with Krasimir, but you have to go to hook with Vovoda.
Right.
And it screwed everything up.
Mm-hmm.
It totally screwed everything up. And then not showing up for the one in January, having to cancel, that really screwed everything up. So what do? I had another month and a half to get ready. Do I rest for a couple of weeks? What do I do? It was tough.
Yeah, I remember when we had a lot of conversations about the January one. I remember because that was right after coming back from Zloty.
I felt terrible.
Right, things weren't perfect, and I remember you being. I drove to Vegas because I was out in California.
Yep.
And we were preparing to be, for you to pull Alexei, and you're like, man, he should have pulled me in January because I felt terrible.
Yeah.
I feel great today.
Oh yeah, I was pretty close to canceling, which I probably wouldn't have done.
Right.
But I don't think it would have had the turnout if I'd have pulled him in January. I don't think it would have turned out the same way. I was terrible. I felt terrible. I mean, my body was wiped out. After pulling Krasny and going to Zloty and everything, my mind and my head wasn't straight. That extra month and a half helped, kind of. in some ways. Get my head straight. I was still strong. I just didn't have the technique, and my style was way off.
Yeah, sure. And it does help. When you're talking about the styles difference between someone like Voivoda and someone like Krasny.
Oh God!
At least your style is kind of set up to be a good match for a positive match for you against Krasny, just because you have a good hand, you have great back pressure.
Yeah.
But we weren't really pushing that in training.
No.
We were pushing the opposite.
We're supposed to total side pressure hook.
Yeah.
And that's not where I want to be with Krasimir.
No. Luckily, we were like, okay, there's like 2 weeks here. What do we do? It's like, okay, Tim, you're gonna do this, and if that doesn't work, fuck it.
Well, you know what? Krasimir. Last time Krasimir beat me in Nemiroff. Before that,
yeah,
I'd kind of figured out what to do then, how he beat me. He just got such a strong arm, and I never really worked on it, but for that couple of extra weeks we had to work, that was it. Work on a little bit of sideways back.
Yeah, just that bizarre angle, because Krasny's a guy. You see a lot of good guys who are good in a hook. Prudnik's great in a hook, but they're really good in a hook when they have their rotation where they don't lose their rotation.
Yeah.
Krasny doesn't care. Krasny will stop you with his palm straight up, just straight turned away sideways from it, and you're going to be an inch from the pad, and you're not going to be able to pin him.
No, he's got a lot of strength. He can wait you out.
Yeah.
Where a lot of the other guys can't.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. He's still smart. I rolled him over, and he transitioned, to slip out afterwards. He wasn't an easy match at all.
No.
He's a great puller. A great guy, great puller, but I don't know. Other people aren't so kind when they lose, But
true.
I felt bad for. He didn't know what to do. Saint Krasimir, same thing. He's this old American guy that just whooped his ass.
Whoops.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and we were talking too, and after you beat Voivoda, that people of course ask, "Is this the last we've seen of Voivoda and all this?" And me and you had that conversation of, "I hope not," because he's obviously fantastic.
Oh God, yeah.
And we were talking too, Voivoda versus Krasny.
Oh, that'd be a wild match.
Yeah.
I think Voivoda versus even Dennis would be a good match.
Mm.
With Voivoda's back pressure and high roll.
Yeah, and he knows him.
If he keep Dennis out of the hook, but I don't think those two will pull. They're training partners. I think they were anyways.
Yeah, and that makes sense. But that opposing style of Krasimir and Voivoda, and they're both fairly balanced as well. Their off moves aren't so bad either.
No.
But yeah, I think that match, because Voivoda's a good athlete. He can pull for a long time, and Krasny is a fighter. So
definitely, Krasny's powerful.
Yeah,
good athlete.
Mm-hmm. Over 6 rounds, I think that'd be phenomenal to watch.
Yeah, that would be. I don't say I'd have to go with Krasny on that one.
I kind of do too, to be honest with you.
It would be a good match, but I think overall I'd go with Krasimir.
Yeah.
He just got more. I don't know, more not experience, but technique. He's more technical and got the power.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, it's not unfair to say he has more experience. We've always been pulling for a long time, but there was a 10-year period where he didn't.
True.
Krasny was in there pulling the whole time.
Yeah, doing well. I'm hoping this year, with the way they're running Zloty, the way I understand, all the top 8 guys are out.
Oh, really?
They're not going to be pulling the
tournament.
They're going to be out. We're pulling the day after. So what does that do?
That makes it a hell of a tournament.
Krasny's been in the top, of that tournament for years.
Yeah.
That could put Krasny in a really good spot. I don't think there's a whole lot of people that are gonna wear Krasimir out. I think he's been knocked down only by the guys that have won the show.
Right. It's guys like Trubin and Pushkar and you that are, making his day hard.
Yeah. So we'll see. Well, I know he goes every year. Mm-hmm. So hopefully it makes it easy for him, or easier. It's not gonna be easy. All those guys are fantastic, but.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Anybody who enters that tournament is dangerous. That's for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, not it. Yeah, pretty much anybody. There's a couple of There's a couple, not many. Even the lowest guy would place in the top in a regular tournament.
Yeah.
They're very good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've. I'm not very good at this part of it, but we did have one question here. I might as well ask you. I know the answer to it, but when it comes to straps, what's the number one thing that you're focused on in the setup of the strap to make sure that basically you're not fucked over?
The main thing is hand height and strap position. Excuse me, palm height and strap position.
Okay.
These guys that put their hands straight up in the air doesn't do a damn thing.
Right.
You know that.
Yeah.
That you had that one little technique we used to push down on your hand almost just to get the palm higher. Corey used it.
I have a couple.
Corey's used that a couple of times, but I've never tried it.
Yep.
So far, haven't had to. Mine's worked pretty well, but if you keep your palm high and you're in the strap in a decent position, you're all right. I found too that when it's strap and buckle side, I just started doing it, and it's actually started out. You end up with a really crappy loose strap when you're on the buckle side. The refs never pull it tight. It never seems to get tight. So what I do is when they wrap my wrist, I'll actually grab the strap and I'll pull the strap even tighter. So I'll hold the strap tight while they're wrapping the rest of the strap.
Okay.
And I'll actually bite it into my skin with my own hand. And when they tighten it, you actually end up with a decent strap rather than no strap. Which happens quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's not the referee's fault, just the way it ends up, it loosens up on your wrist.
Yeah. And you're one of the guys too, like over the years with all the talk of like the buckle side, not buckle side, you've always been the guy that's been campaigned in Team Dungeon. Fuck the buckle. Don't care about it.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna get the buckle sooner or later.
Yeah. And you were just always, I remember you always pound it into people's heads. Stop thinking so much about the buckle and just arm wrestle in the strap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I don't know how much experience you have with it, but what do you think about the Farrah strap, where they fish it through instead of underneath?
It does equal it up a little bit. It doesn't totally equal it.
Right.
It doesn't. As far as I can see, it's the same thing as old AAA strap, or it's similar to a AAA.
Seriously. Yeah.
Everybody hated that strap, so they stopped using it. And then all of a sudden they're coming out with all this stuff, and they're like, sorry guys, I'd go on Facebook, they'd be yelling at me about, there's nothing like the AAA strap. Like, it's exactly like the AAA strap.
It is.
Yeah,
the D-ring fished it through you for you.
Yeah, it just doesn't have a buckle in the middle anymore. AAA strap is probably the fairest strap out there.
I agree.
I mean, there's got to be a way to do it. Everybody hated the buckle biting it, the buckle biting in between your hands, but I never had a problem with it.
No.
The buckle on top of your hands, the one that the metal D-rings on top.
Yeah.
Suck.
Yeah.
That's why I can't believe the WAL went
back. I know. I wonder if they were just concerned about breaking them, but I mean, come on.
Break them. Put on the.
It looks cool.
We did a powerhouse tournament down in Jersey, and I had WAL straps. I don't know if they were old. I could not get them things to tighten. I threw it off the table. I grabbed somebody had a strap in the audience I used all day. But I mean, I couldn't get that thing to stay tight for nothing. And usually they tighten right up.
Yeah.
They usually bite. But I don't know. I don't like. That's probably the worst type of strap. I mean, I'll even I like the Velcro strap if the referee knows how to tighten it.
Sure.
I mean, Leonard always used Velcro years ago, and he's the only one that can really tighten it well, which fine with me. It doesn't matter. I mean, strap's strap, really.
Yeah. When it comes to, I think the Farrah strap, if you're going to use the original strap, which is basically the plastic buckle inch wide, if you want to keep that piece of equipment and you want to strap it the best way, I think the Farrah strap is the best way.
Well, definitely. It
it's as close as you're going to get.
Yeah, it's close. Yeah, definitely as close as you're going to get. I mean, they were supposed to use that in the WAL, and I don't think I got fair strapped one time.
A couple years ago. Yeah, it was like 50-50 whether you did or not.
I think we were in New Orleans.
Okay.
They went into the last match. We were in the straps with right the second to last match. The guy didn't fair strap. I had a big smile on my face. Okay. I didn't have the buckle. So.
You're not going to say a word.
That's beautiful. I would have said something that had the buckle.
Yeah.
But No, like, it's good. It's definitely works. I don't like the real wide strap Devin come out with.
Yeah.
It just seems to like open hands up a little too much.
Yeah, a brand new one of those is no good. If you wear it for a while, they're fine, but it's like if you're in a big tournament, you don't want broken in strap. You want brand new equipment. You know, you want it to look a certain way too.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. The best material strap I've ever used, Gene Camp had. It was a Velcro, but
it was like leather.
It was cotton. I think it was a cotton fiber, but it didn't stretch, and it was soft, so it didn't bite into you like a nylon strap. But it still was Velcro. I wonder if you'd have made it into a regular buckle strap, how would it went?
I think it would have been fine.
Yeah, but those guys have a hard time with tying their shoe. They might tighten
everything. Those tournaments made you so much better though. For like,
oh God, they did.
I mean, I still talk about those tournaments to my teammates here who have never been to a tournament that like loosely ref that way, where it's like we walked in there as training, like, listen guys, you have a foul and a warning as soon as you walk up to the table. This is the way this goes, and if you pull that way, you're gonna have a great day.
Yeah.
If you don't pull that way, you're gonna end up screaming at the ref. You're gonna end up walking out of the tournament with one loss because you're so frustrated that you don't want to stay.
Well, how many times did we hear on Northeast board? Never going back again. I said, we told you guys, that's what it is. You go to that tournament to improve yourself, because you're not going to get referees. You're not going to get ref like that anywhere else.
That's right.
And if you can make it through that tournament, I mean, they put me with one. I don't know where we were. I think we were in Brighton Beach against a Turkish world champion. And they were giving him an advantage. I'm like, well, what are you doing, guys? Well, you don't need an advantage. I'm like, this ain't no good Joe Schmo off the road. He's a world champion.
Yeah.
I ended up beating him, but it's hard starting, with the strap around your fingers and, him pushing your hand half down before he lets go. That's in between him, texting on the referee texting as he's, as long as if you get the foul while he's texting, it's good, I guess.
I guess, it might be a mixed bag of a audience that how they feel about it. But I remember just, we'd go down there with that mindset, and it would just make you aggressive. It would make you understand, and to a much larger degree, what some of the smaller things that happen in good tournaments are. Because a lot of times when you're newer, you go to a good tournament and a good arm wrestler will fuck you over, but you don't know what he did. You just walk away going, I know this guy screwed me. I know he screwed me. I just don't know how he did it. And then when you go to a tournament like that and you see it like enlarged, like, okay, they push you off center. They're just covering your knuckles all the way, and you're like, oh, that's what that guy did. He just did it just a little bit. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the way. That's actually refereeing. If you want to find out what your opponent's strengths are, referee him, because then you see everything he's trying to pull.
Yeah.
That's how. I mean, that's how I found out all Travis's tricks, just refereeing him. I'm sure not all of his tricks, but I found a lot of his that you don't see from the other side. It's you got to pay attention. You got to watch your opponents. It helps.
Well, it's very easy to get tunnel vision when you're on the other side.
Oh God, yes.
It just is what it is. You're focused on what you're gonna do, and you don't really, because honestly, if you're sitting there focused on everything that they do, you're gonna be way too slow, and you're just gonna be defensive. If you want to attack somebody, you just think, I'm just gonna beat the shit out of this guy, and then you all of a sudden don't understand what they're doing to you.
Yep, definitely. That's an easy way to lose. Beat yourself. I mean, you let the guy beat you.
Yeah.
You're not confident. You're letting him cheat you.
Yep. And sometimes you watch video later and you're like, oh my God.
Oh God, it definitely was like, oh, how stupid can you be? And it was so unobvious, or you don't see it the way it really happened until you watch the video later.
Sure. Or you're like, you know what, he's taking a little bit of this area, but I don't think it matters. Then you watch the video, it's like, oh, he took everything. He took it all.
I mean, everybody's just Travis we wiping his head with his sleeve or doing something. I was like, look, dude, everything he does is a reason he does it.
Sure.
And everybody used to laugh at me when I say that. He's climbing up on his elbow. He climbed with his hand. He's everything, every movement he does. Talking to the referee. He's talking to the referees. The referee's not watching what he's doing. Our friend Ron Klumber does that.
Yeah, a little bit. Well. I might have picked up a couple of those things.
Yeah. It is what it is. You do what you do to get your advantages.
Yes. And and really, as far as people is it cheating? Is it not cheating? No, it's somebody is manipulating the situation. And really, when you step back and look at it when you're not competing, when it's not happening to you, it's brilliant. When it's happening to you, it's fucking the worst thing in the world.
Cheat.
Yeah, but that was always one good thing about Team Dungeon, is that kind of stuff would happen to us. We come back to, or would happen to one of us, and we come back to train the next week, and that's all we hear about. It was it was never covered up. It was never an excuse. Yep. Every one of the teammates would say, like, dude, did you see what he did to you? What are you going to make sure that never happens again?
Yep.
And we'd actually work on it. And people got their feelings hurt over it.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people get their feelings hurt. You know me, I'm pretty blunt.
Yes.
And I mean, I think over the years, Ron's really nice to people. Right. You were really nice. You just, and I'm blunt. I'll tell you like it is. Right. I don't care. We
would let you just tell them what happened. Ron would make them feel better, and then I would teach them how to stop it from happening again. It was a nice combination.
Don't work that way anymore,
Yeah.
It is what it is. Yeah. We still got. Well, we got. You don't think do you ever meet Vladimir?
Yes.
Oh.
I pulled with him in April.
Kid is powerful.
Yes.
I love pulling with that kid.
Mm-hmm.
His hook is so strong.
Yeah.
He helps me out. He keeps my arm strong.
Yeah.
And then we got Joe, the kid. He's from the area. You pulled with Joe quite a few times. You got him at the Wolcott Fair a couple years ago.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. He's pulling both. He's pulling with both clubs now. We got Armeni's got his own little organization now, so a lot of guys pull with them. We lost one guy because he's a babysitter. He pulls with them now. I guess they train in the armpit or something. I can't pronounce his last name. This kid's strong as hell.
Yeah.
But at least we lost him because he had a babysitter on the weekend. But we still got some decent.
Oh, is it Mark Piatek maybe?
That's it. Yeah.
I pulled him in Maine. We pulled for probably a minute and a half at a hook right-handed, and I'm like, I've pulled him plenty of times, and I don't think I've ever pulled him in a tournament right-handed, but I caught him in a hook, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have to sit here for a long time. Yeah.
He's got some huge hands. For skinny guy. He's very slender.
Yep. Long arm. Very strong.
I like pulling him. He's but like I said, I think his wife's a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
So he can't get away on his weekends, so he pulls with the arm benders, Connecticut arm benders, I think they are.
Okay. Yeah, I've never pulled him right-handed until that day. I've always pulled him left. I never had much trouble, but I think it was just a styles thing. But yeah, his hand is so strong.
It's big. I mean, for a kid that not massive man, he's not a huge man. He's huge hands.
Right. Yeah, and I remember I had to hook him, and my shoulder was giving me a little bit of trouble. My left, I couldn't pull on the peg, so I really just had to just kind of sit. And I'm like, I hope he burns out because I don't think I can drag across without pulling on that peg.
We were talking about the peg the other day. We were talking to Joe Y about pulling styles.
Yep.
And me and Vladimir were talking to him, and we're trying to tell him is you have to make your style your main focus. Don't try to pull like somebody else.
True.
You know what I mean, you always going to hook right-handed. So we work everything obviously, but you work your strongest point first, and then you work on your other tools.
Sure.
And Joe was talking about he's really good in the hook, and but he top rolls. I said, why are you doing that? He said, well, that's what they taught me. But I always go back to the hook. I said, then work on your hook. And Vladimir is saying the same thing. Vladimir, he can top roll, but his hook is so strong. Mm-hmm. So he works on his hook. Yeah. And it's good to work with him because he is so strong.
Yep. And I mean, when it comes to like we'll take a hook for example, just because we're on it. When it comes to like say you're good in a hook, well, are you great at getting in the hook?
Yeah.
Are you great in a defensive hook?
Yeah.
Or are you only good in how many styles are there in these with top roll hook? There's a million. There's unlimited.
Yeah.
So are you good in every direction there?
No.
Or is there a hole? Because work your hook. Maybe work the weakest part of your hook. Maybe it's getting in there.
Yep.
But you should be, you should have a game plan of an A plan. And very few times should that fail if you're prepared. And of course that takes time because
That's where we always train. We always train new guys when we had them at the dungeon. Let me see you arm wrestle. What do you do? What do you do best?
Show me.
Show me what you do.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a lot of great arm wrestlers wrestlers out there that want to show you how they arm wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I tell them, Ron Klember arm wrestles wrong, but he's very good at it.
Right.
You know, that's his style, and
Totally.
there's not many people that can arm wrestle like that.
Mm-hmm.
So same thing, you know, same thing with Philippe. Philippe arm wrestles with his hand, losing you with his wrist down.
Right.
And we tried to correct it, and then all of a sudden we're looking, and we're going, no,
Why?
we can't.
Right. You
Well,
can't.
can't correct it because he's that good at it.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want other people to arm wrestle like that because 90% of people aren't going to be strong like that.
Uh-huh.
I lose a lot of strength if I dump my hand.
Sure.
You know, he goes to a dumped hand. And we try to explain that to the kids. You know, there's some people just strong in certain ways. You got to, if that's what it is, you have to exploit that way.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you know, would anybody teach anybody else to pull like Anthony Snook? The guy's 6'3". He drops way below the table, arms straight up in the air with his hand straight down. You probably wouldn't teach somebody to do that.
No.
But he's damn good at it.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's gonna tell him not to do it now. You know?
No, definitely not. But that's definitely, if you look at it stylistically, it's same thing with Ron. It's the wrong way to arm wrestle.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
Right. It goes against the
try
basics.
You try to teach them not to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, some people end up being very strong at that.
Yeah.
You know, it just look, kid from California. God, my brain's gone.
How big?
Small. Well, now he's big. Had long hair, drinker.
Kenny?
Kenny
Hughes.
Kenny Hughes. Who in the world arm wrestles like Kenny Hughes?
Yeah, right.
That is so stylistically the wrong way to arm wrestle, and he is so powerful in it.
Yep.
I mean, if everything he does, you tell yelling arm, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
so don't do that.
And then all of a sudden they say go and they're pinned.
Yeah, Kenny's all kinds of crazy ways, but
Yeah.
Kenny's one of the best in the world, always has been.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And that kickback, straight up, dumped wrist, it's like, wow, how can you do that?
Oh, totally. And I mean, how many of these styles come around injury? You know.
Oh,
I mean,
true.
My left hand, I never pulled straight back. I pulled to my opponent's side, that angle, because I had to relieve the pressure from my shoulder for a long time. And you know, all of a sudden, people would try to hook me, and they'd have this no pressure from here to here, and then all of a sudden they're flat because I had to develop this weird angle that actually brings me to my opponent's side. And Bill Collins called it out on me when I was this January when I went out there and I pulled the LA Fit Expo. He told me the next day, he goes, "You have a weird top roll, man." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Why are you pulling towards them?"
Yeah.
I said, "I have to."
Well, you're turning to get the pressure off your shoulder.
That's
what
right.
You're doing,
right.
You know?
I had to relieve the side pressure by going away, actually towards them with it. You know what I mean? So I'm actually following their movement. So there's a pocket in there where they don't feel anything, and then they do.
Yep.
You know, and is it the best style? No. It makes a lot more work for me because I have to bring it way further back sideways.
Yeah, but how much pain does it relieve?
It relieves a lot of pain, and you know, luckily my strength became for a short time anyway. My strength became a crutch, where I have good endurance, so I can sit there and wait somebody for a minute, and then if I got to pull them again, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Where they're not.
Well, you and Clemby used to pull for friggin' 3 hours after we all left. You know, we pulled for 3 hours. You guys would stay for another 2 or 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You know, both of you guys can pull forever.
Yeah.
I think Clemby gets better with the more he pulls.
Yes, for sure.
You know?
I 100% agree.
He'd lose his first match. Everybody go, "Oh, he's done now. Look, he just lost." Like,
Mm-hmm.
That's just his starting point. Now he's gonna start killing everybody.
Yep. It's
You know?
very, very true. And the bigger the class, the worse it got for people.
Oh, definitely.
Yep.
He's pulling strong. We'll see. Like, I don't know if we're pulling. I think we're pulling New England's. I think we're all gonna pull. I got to meet up with my buddy, Mr. Homewood.
Mm.
I was warned that everybody was gonna be shaking in their boots. You know.
No.
That's what I was told. I told the man got to be a monster. You know.
Sounds intimidating.
Well, that's why I went to Wilcott. I want to see what I had in store for me. But
He is a strong man. That's for sure.
oh, definitely, he's always been strong.
Yep.
He's strong, definitely strong if he gets in a deep hook. You know, it's hard to get him out. But there's always ways.
Oh, of course. Redirection of power.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
That's what the sport's all about, isn't it?
Definitely.
I'll actually be up there the last weekend of September.
Really?
Yep.
You're an ass.
Why? Are you not going to be there?
Nope.
What the fuck?
Gonna be in Tennessee.
Damn it.
I leave for Tennessee on the 26th. I'll be down there till the first weekend into the 7th, the 7th and 8th.
Okay.
I come back.
Yeah, I'm hoping to make it out there for New England's too. It just all depends on, if when I get cut open, basically for my shoulder. I'm hoping to make it out there and I'll be in a sling. I mean, that's my hope because I want to get cut open as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And if I could just make it out there, because really it's all about time off of work, and I'll be off of work anyway. So.
Well, you can't type with one hand?
Hell no.
It's not like you're making balls anymore.
I know. My hands are still soft though.
I imagine they are.
Cause reactions, as you said last time on the show.
This is Mike. Yes, you have very soft hands.
Yes, the softest hands in arm wrestling.
Yes.
And we were talking before about, this is something I wanted to ask you earlier. We were talking about, not backing out of matches, this kind of thing. And, I had that experience when I pulled Ermini. I had quite a few moments before that where I was like, maybe I should back out of this thing, but I can't do that. I'd rather take a loss than back out. That kind of reminded me of when you got sick in 14.
Yeah.
And you came back to Atlantic City.
Yeah.
And it's something that I look at now, like, not backing out of a match, how important that is now, especially in this day and age where most people are just talking shit on Facebook. Most people don't have any intention on ever even trying to compete or beat or doing what they're saying they're actually doing every single day.
Yeah.
And it bugs the shit out of me. I know it bugs the shit out of you.
Yeah.
And we try to talk you out of as a team, try to talk you out of going to that tournament. Yeah, I mean,
which one?
Atlantic City.
Atlantic City?
Yeah, because I mean, you were,
I look like shit.
Well, maybe people don't know, but you were 30 pounds underweight.
Yeah.
And I mean, you were literally, that was like October.
I was 255.
Were you that light?
Yeah, I dropped out of 250 when I
remember
my
that.
kidneys failed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you maybe got a little bit. I mean, it was like it was like 2 months. It was nothing.
Yeah.
But the hell if you weren't going to go there and try to win.
I just wanted to qualify.
Right.
I wanted to qualify for the tournament. I figured that January or February was New Orleans. I would have enough time to build myself back up, but I had to qualify.
Right.
Which I found out I didn't have to qualify. I could have got a waiver because of my being ill. But
oops. But I mean, even in that case where all you wanted to do was qualify, like a lot of guys, a lot of people would not have risked looking less than 100% with all those cameras and all those people in front of a class like that. I mean, that's just the fact, right? I mean, a lot of people will not step out and compete like that with all those eyes on you unless they're 100% sure that they can at least put on the best performance that they can.
Oh, that was the best performance I could put on. I ran out of juice about halfway through that. I was fading quick.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think, knowing, being around you that whole time, the fact that you had any juice at all to give was pretty crazy. But, has that been something that's, I mean, when you talk about winning and losing and competing the best you can or just getting there just to compete, just to do it, to try to prove that you're better, is there ever a question in your mind about that? Or is it just always, no, we're going to go ahead and do it? I mean, there's like, or is that thing like where, man, I'm 95%. I don't know. I don't want to look stupid in front of people. I don't want to look bad on film.
No. That part never goes in my mind. If I like competing. I mean, I've always liked competing. And I've recently said, sometimes it's not fun competing at the top level. It's sometimes more fun competing in a novice class, because you're competing for that little piece of plastic. You got no pressure on you, Right. You go out and start competing look at the WAL. If you don't finish in the top 3, you got $500. If you don't finish in the top 8, you get nothing.
True.
So that's a lot of pressure. Mm-hmm. I mean, look how much money it costs to fly to these places.
Yeah.
At least with the PAL, I don't have that pressure on my back because Igor takes care of us. Mm-hmm. Well, Igor treats us like athletes. He sends us. He flies us there. He puts us up. If I told him I didn't have any money for dinner, he'd pay me. He'd buy me dinner.
Right.
My God, the time he flew me out there for a week just to have, to hang out. And he fed me. I couldn't even eat as much as. Holy shit, that man can eat.
Yeah.
We that's all we did was eat, train, go on a computer, look at new stuff, but it's the way they should be treated. We should be treated is Igor treats us pretty well, I think, in my opinion. I mean, that's why I couldn't. That's why I made sure when I did all those contracts with the WAL, I had an out to to go pull for Igor.
Right.
But
yeah, I just think it's important, to kind of showcase that, it's important that, like, if a real competitor, a guy who really wants to get out there and fight for what he thinks he's worth,
yeah,
if you get given an opportunity and you really think that you should be a certain place, you should accept. And I see all the time, and I hear it all the time, that people, they're not going to do it unless they feel a certain way. They're not ready. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it should be showcased when somebody's just willing to. I don't care, anytime, any place. Just put.
I mean, I had a guy. I had years ago before. I really started pulling with the top guys. I mean, I went to a tournament and had 7 guys pull out of a class because I signed up. I actually told the promoter to pull me out, and he wouldn't pull me out. I said, "You're losing too much money, guys. Just pull me out of the class." I said, "If they're all going to quit." Excuse me. I said, "Pull me out of the class," and he wouldn't pull me out of the class. So, it's 7 guys backing out of a class. Come on. How are you going to get any better? How are you going to improve your game if you don't pull, anybody that's not better than you?
Right.
Hey, we got that kid from Poland, that skinny little kid, Marcin, that pulls with us.
Sure. Okay.
He's still pulling a novice. After we kicked him out of our tournament, and I've made a huge stink about him pulling novice. I get to walk out. I'm sitting in the audience, and what's he doing? He's pulling left-handed novice.
Right.
I can see him pulling right because his right sucks. But left, dude, you've won a national championship left-handed. Why are you pulling novice?
No, it's terrible.
And everybody's like, well, it's not. If he doesn't want to pull for the money, he can pull novice. Now, how many people does that discourage?
Right.
It doesn't make for good for the new guys.
It's not good for anybody.
No.
It's not good for anybody. It's not good for how everything looks. I was thinking about that the other day about novice classes and open classes. Because Chris Gabi was on here a few weeks ago, and he said that he doesn't like novice classes. Period. And he's like, he thinks that the novices should get conditioned in training and then enter tournaments. Which, I mean, that's best case scenario.
Oof.
But yeah, right, exactly. But I thought of if we had it to where we could actually make this make sense as far as the tournament, or as far as arm wrestling being big enough, where we could have a novice league. Where all the pros, because you give out trophies, and basically the novice league would fund a good pro tournament later. Like these kind of things. You know what I'm saying? Like if you get a good turnout for a novice league where there's nothing, this is the only class is a novice class. That's it. There is no open class. Yeah. There's one class. It's novice, and that tournament would fund a later pro event that would have money prizes instead of tournament.
That would probably. I mean, I don't think there's There's a couple of them. There's a couple of novice tournaments around the country. Not very many of them, though.
Right, and what you could do is if you had a novice league, is you could take note of when these people first signed up, and then you could put a time limit on it. Whether it's if you win 3, you're out, or if you
AAA was 3.
Right.
AAA was 3 wins or a national win.
Yes.
Or no, if you finished top 3 in a national tournament, then you had to move up.
Right.
Me, I went to my first tournament, won my novice, and got moved up, and then broke my arm.
Yeah, you broke your left arm.
But I didn't have the experience enough to know where not to be.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I've seen that video, and it's like, Tim, what the fuck?
Oh, it was quick though. It wasn't in that bad a position that long. It wasn't.
Exactly.
I don't think it was the fault of the referees. I don't think there's anything they could have done.
No.
It was a bad position. Just long. I mean, we had it. Me and I think it was Bill Cox were refereeing. Not sure. Mm-hmm. Kid was in a bad position on my left-hand side. Both of us were reaching for the kid to stop him.
Yeah.
And the guy on the right broke his arm. It switched that quick. Mm-hmm. And then I swear to God, me and Ron were refereeing a tournament. The guy on the table over from us broke his forearm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the way it looked. Even in the video, it looked to me like his forearm let go. And we had Chad Lundy broke his elbow.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was the weirdest break I've ever heard.
He shattered. He cracked the middle of his elbow. That's not an arm wrestling break.
Yep, ready go. He catches Kevin Nelson.
Was it Kevin?
Yeah, Kevin pressed him with his hand in, and Chad caught him in a hook.
Yep.
Perfect position.
That's what Chad wanted to be. Yep.
Perfect position and pow.
His elbow let go.
I don't know if it was his tricep or his bicep pulled the tip of his elbow off.
Yeah.
I mean, Leonard's like, don't have any answer for that. Never seen that before.
No. That was he actually has a metal piece that held his elbow together for a while.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know how that worked. I mean, he's had a hinge, or I don't know. I mean, that was weird. But there are some breaks like that. We had a girl years ago, one of my first tournaments in Maine. Mm. I think she cracked her arm in the match before.
Yep.
Or no, she cracked her arm and they slipped, and we told her not to go back up. And as soon as she went back, Androvic's girlfriend,
Mike. Yep.
Mike Androvic, she went back up and it let go. Not a pretty picture, but I think it was broke before.
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, I think a lot of these injuries that where it's like, man, this guy was in great position. What happened? You come to find out, oh, my arm was aching for 2 months. Yeah. And it's like, yeah. I mean, it's hard to distinguish between like, oh, bad tendon pain and
It's really not though. It's not hard to distinguish working pain and real pain.
Right, I mean, but I'm saying like if you have like horrible tendonitis, like tennis elbow, and then you have like maybe a it's like I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm just wondering.
I had tennis and golf elbow at the same time. You can't straighten it, can't close it.
About useless.
You don't know whether to wear the brace on the top or the bottom.
Yeah.
But even Megan.
Yeah.
When she broke her arm was cracked. It was definitely broken.
Yep.
The way she describes what happened to her, and somebody shamed her into pulling, which she shouldn't have done.
Right.
She had a terrible break.
Yeah.
She was one of 6 that day at the WL tournament.
Yeah, that was horrible.
That was the worst. Six breaks, something, 2 tendons, and an elbow let go.
Oof. Worst numbers I've heard in one day. I mean, that's what made me, like, with my left, I was kind of still trying to pull once, even when I knew I was kind of screwed. Like, when they're like, yeah, you don't have, your labrum's most likely gone. I was still pulling in training, just in certain positions, nothing real crazy. And then I had my MRI, and we went through the MRI, and they were like, what is that? And I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm not a doctor. And basically, they saw what could have been a stress fracture in my humerus.
Your bone?
Yeah.
Really?
So where the bicep goes into the humerus was starting to pull it off. That's what they were looking. That's what they thought. And they're like, did you have x-rays done? I'm like, yeah. And they looked fine. And they said, well, we're going to ask them again to look at it because, that might – basically, if it's a stress fracture, the game plan I'm on now is going to heal it anyway. But they were like, you could be really lucky that didn't let go. Like, I wouldn't have broke my arm, but it would have been like almost like a tear.
Wow.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound good.
No, I mean, it's my shoulder's bad.
I mean,
I did it good. I did it good, Timmy.
I had a toe rotator cuff for 20 years now.
Yep.
I'm too afraid to have it done. I'm afraid I'm not going to have any strength left. And it hurts. I think Corey just did his last week too.
No, really?
He might have a toe rotator. I'm not sure if he's going to make New Jersey next month to pull for his belt. He's still working, but it's not. He's doing a lot of left-handed lifting at work. So
it's his right.
Yeah, he's doing. I mean, he still does. He does windshield, so he lifts everything left-handed now.
Yeah.
But he can't lift his arm straight up past his shoulder. I mean, mine's still that way. I can't once I get even with my shoulder, don't go any higher.
Yeah.
Mine's never been repaired.
Yep. So. That's one of my issues right now.
Rotator cuff shot?
Well, no, my rotator cuff is beautiful.
Yeah.
Doctor said they'd never seen a healthier rotator cuff in their life.
But oh my God!
It's just
must have made you proud.
Yeah, I'm like, thanks, doc. But it's from all the rehab I've been trying to do to make it okay over the years, Yeah. But
we talked about your rehab. You've been pulling 2 and 3 times a week for how long now?
5, 6.
Yeah. Is that good?
Well, I mean, as far as I was wondering because I was looking. I'm like, man, I wonder how much scar tissue is going to be in there and that kind of stuff, right? Because you're going to see it all. And they told me, man, you have little to none.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, it's really, hell if I know. It's probably terrible for you, but they basically said, labrum shot. I don't have a labrum anymore. The only thing that's holding it together is the rotator cuff muscles, and that I have some bicep tendinopathy, basically some.
What?
But yeah, basically bicep tendonitis into the insertion part of your shoulder. I'm like, yeah, no shit. I'm an arm wrestler. The guy was like, "Yeah, if I did you right, it would look the same, I'm sure." And I'm like, "Yeah, it would."
Tendinopathy. That's a new word.
Yeah, well,
Call me John.
I'm almost a doctor now.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I've been watching your MBK. Where you been? They're every picture had you in it before. Now they're like, what's going on?
Yeah, now I'm just like basically a punching bag for right hand, and so I've just fallen off the map, dude.
I saw that. I mean, you went from a hero to a zero in 2 seconds.
True.
You were that poster boy.
Yeah. Now I'm just the guy who arm wrestles on the. I don't actually arm wrestle, so because I'm not competing, so you know how it goes. Not really, but
Chris Rusakis, he tore up his arm one time, and I was kidding
a lot
around.
of times.
Yeah, well, I guess he just hurt it real bad recently too.
Oh,
but
really? Okay.
we're up in AAA's up in New Hampshire. I mean New York, and I said something kiddingly to him about that because he couldn't grab the peg because he just tore his rotator cuff.
Oh shit!
Or his bicep. I said, I let the real arm wrestlers get in there, and he, Chris laughed about it.
Right.
His kids didn't get it. His kids didn't think so nice of it. They got kind
sure.
of. What are you talking about? I'm like, dude, he's my friend. I'm kidding with him. Half the shit that comes out of my mouth is a joke. It's like on Facebook when they think I'm getting mad at him. I'm laughing when they're throwing back all this shit, and I'm laughing because it's funny.
It's like when I posted that video that I think my team's trying to hurt my feelings. You're like, I tried for 8 years. They don't know you very well.
Oh God, no. That's. You actually started coming back a little bit at the end. You actually had a few comebacks.
Yeah, well,
But agreeing with me. You bust. It's like kicking a rabbit. Kicking a bunny. You just look at me and agree with me. It's like, come on, John.
Well, I told you. Remember we were at that cookout, and I told you. I was giving somebody else. I don't remember who it was. I was giving somebody else advice. I said the only way to win is to not play. It's war games.
But that's what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
That's what people think, though, in arm wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't pull because this guy's going to be there. That's why I never tell. Everybody always wonders why I don't tell people when I'm going to a tournament. I don't want to hurt I want to hurt the promoter's money, and I don't want people to back out because I'm going. You know what I mean? I want them to be there, and it happens so many times. It
does. It happens, especially and it does. And happens in every weight class with every top guy.
Oh,
if
definitely.
somebody hears they don't even enter. Come on, you never know.
That's how you do know. That's how you're gonna beat him sooner or later.
That's what I'm saying. Like you never know about that. Like what bracket that dude gets. Like you never know.
And that's how when I first started. Excuse me. I had my steps, and I knew who was on each step.
Hell yeah.
I had Harry. Harry Beam was one of my steps. Great arm wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt Howgate, his brother. They were all. That's my next goal. I got to beat this guy. That's my next goal. I got to beat this guy. I had a lot of respect for those guys.
Hell yeah.
But then you always have my next step. That's just you got to have a next step. If you don't, I can't pull it. I can't beat Kurt. I would have never done anything.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So you got to have your next. That's my next step. That's my next rung on my ladder. That's why when I make sure they were there.
Yeah. And like you said before too, like all that stuff comes with pressure and all that. But
definitely.
But great. I mean, hell, we're so lucky to feel that kind of pressure.
That's good pressure though. That's not That's not like bullshit. Some of the shit talk that goes on. I don't shit talk.
Right.
And some of the shit it's driven a lot of the better arm wrestlers off the boards and stuff. I mean, I get guys that call me all the time and ask me how do I do this or how do I do that. I tell them.
Yeah.
But I'll bet you 60 to 70% of the top guys won't do that anymore. It's because of all the shit talkers on Facebook and on the message boards.
Yep.
They've had enough bull and they don't want to play anymore. Me, I don't really care. It makes me laugh. So.
Right, and I mean that's the thing too. The more popular it gets, things like social media are just gonna. I mean, if you don't find a way to either enjoy it or just completely ignore it, then the sport's never gonna go where we want it to anyway because nobody's gonna enjoy it. The people in it won't enjoy it.
No. Like I said, I help a guy in Thailand train,
mm-hmm.
and it's hard over the internet. I send him videos and stuff. He asks me questions, or how do I do this, and how do I look there? And I try to tell him, try to help him with his strengths.
Sure.
There's a couple other guys I help too, and I feel great when they come back and say, oh God, Timmy, what you said worked. I think there's a kid in Tennessee right now that I talk to, a kid, he's probably his 30s, but he calls me all the time. He asks me, he shows me video. How did he win on this? How do I stop this, or how do I do that? And I said, well, this is how I would do it. I said, it's like he had one of his teammates was beat by Bishop.
Okay.
Bishop went straight back on his tricep.
Mm-hmm.
He said, well, how did he beat that? I said, well, either you're really good with a lot of side pressure. I mean, flat-handed,
right?
Very good side pressure.
Yeah.
He said, oh, that looks like I said, I can do it. I said, I don't like doing it, but I mean, I can do it. Klemba, I do it. Klemba.
Oh,
That's why
yeah.
I'm strong to do it, Ron.
Mm-hmm.
Or you hold on tight and don't let him do it. When he goes down to his tricep, you keep that rest of his hand right in the middle of the table.
Tight
you hold
lat,
on tight
right?
And let him go do what he's going to do, and you keep his hand where you want it.
Mm-hmm.
So that that's they're losing out. There's people that are losing out on that, helping out, getting help because of other idiots that have no clue.
Oh, for sure. And I can't remember who we were talking to about that specifically. It might have been Michael Todd, where it's like there's so many people, there's so many great fans of the sport, but most of the time they don't say a word. They see a video, they see a picture, they like it, or they just look at it, they go, that's great, and then they just move on. But the guys who are just assholes or just trolls or don't, they're
Troll.
They're a higher percentage of those guys respond.
Oh, definitely. Well, look, that's why John Brzezinski stopped.
Yeah.
The
Engen page.
He just took right off.
Yeah.
He got off. Yeah. I mean, that was Engen's page was the last thing he did. And that's because he get tired of arguing with these idiots. Me, I enjoy it. Gives me something to do. I get a lot of downtime with my brain like it is, and so what do? Argue with retards on Facebook.
That's
what I'm doing.
Keeps you sharp.
Exactly what you just did. Is they're arguing and they're like, "You're getting mad." I'm like, "You don't know me."
No, I remember. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, your Corey used to do it on the message board.
The Northeast board.
Northeast board. Yeah. We'd be laughing.
Under Pete Milano's.
Oh God.
This is
Tim. Yeah, Tim, stop. Yeah, okay. But my wife just walks out of the room now. She don't even. She's
of
like,
course.
Yeah.
Well, Deb knows you well enough at this point.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to participate.
Yeah. Why you being stupid? I'm like, because it's fun, So all you people out there that listen, when you think you're getting me angry, you're not. It's funny. That cracked me up.
And going back a little bit to when you were saying you have to pull like yourself, individual styles, and helping people out and all these things. I think it's an overlooked part of your game that you don't cap your thumb anymore.
No. My hands are too small.
Right, and I think that this is honestly something that's way overlooked when it comes to you.
God, yeah.
Because, when you're talking about, straps earlier and palm height and all these things, people don't understand, too, that you're pulling that way in the strap without covering your thumb. And you given, I know just from watching and I know just from, talking to you, giving people like Devin a hard time partially because it's just hard to set up with you. In a game of, and I don't mean that it's hard to set up with you because of the way you're setting up, like as far as what you're taking. It's that you're taking so little. You get up there and you just kind of close your hand. Every once in a while, you'll kind of grab for a little bit more. But your thumb's relaxed. You're under your thumb. And in the world that it is now in arm wrestling, which everything's always about, everybody wants to climb, everybody wants to regrip, everybody wants to think about all these things. And you're kind of, in a lot of ways, going against what they're saying as far as your height goes. Not that you are lower in their hand, but it looks that way.
It is to start with, really. It is. But I mean, I found out years ago though, if the more you fight, the more they fight, and the more they
nobody
take.
gets anywhere.
So well, no, but if I grab low without capping my thumb, almost straight across, and don't squeeze and don't pull, they think they got something.
True.
So they don't try to get more.
Mm-hmm.
So they're really, by me not doing that, it's my advantage because they're not trying to get this huge high grip.
Right, you're not threatening their space.
Yeah, I'm not threatening anything. I'm like holding their hand like their wife would do.
Right.
That's exactly how. I mean, I grab nice and soft. Just get just enough grip so I can on the go regrip, and I do everything after the go.
That cheating dead load.
Yeah, that's fish hand.
Yeah.
You boys that fish hand.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, that's why if I miss the go, it's bad for me because I can't get anything. I've given everything on the grip, so I have to get something on the go. Mm-hmm. It's not much, but I have to get a little bit more. But that's why it hurts me so bad if I miss the go.
Right.
That's why I look so bad. You know.
Well, that is the way any technique or anything goes. It's like whatever you're trying to get, there is always a downfall.
Oh yeah.
You know, if you're loading like a son of a bitch, well, guess what? You're not gonna be fast. You know, there's always a downfall. It might be the right move, but there's always going to be something to exploit. Hopefully, they don't do it.
Well, I found out like with the way referee grabs a hand. If you're dead loading and the referee's supporting your opponent's hand, you better start loading, or you're done.
Yep.
You're done. I learned that with Ron Bath pulling him in Tahoe. He had just enough pressure on the back of the referee. Where the referee was holding his hand just enough on the go, so he could get a little bit of back pressure.
Sure.
And
that's all she wrote.
He almost. I mean, I won the first one. I lost the second one, but he still knocked me right over. Like, oh shoot, no. So I mean,
especially in this game with someone that good. You know.
Oh, Ron's great.
Oh, just a millimeter of difference, or just a microsecond of difference in go. That makes everything. It changes everything.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, we were talking about the skipping matches. I backed out of one match.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it was with Ron Bath. I was supposed to go to Tennessee, pull Ron. Well, I think it was Tennessee, or it was a match that Jason Gully was putting on.
All right.
I did it for him, no money. You know, it was a super match. It was just a show. I don't know if Ron was getting paid, and then I got the offer to go to pull Pushkar.
Oh, okay. It was that time.
So I called my friend Jason because he's my friend, and I said, this is what's going on. I said, if you want me to still pull, I'll pull I'll turn down the other one. I said, but I've been trying to get this match for a long time. He said, no, Tim, go ahead, do what you got to do. He says, I'll square it. I caught a lot of flack over it. I felt bad. I mean, Ron's a good guy. I mean, Ron was upset about it.
Sure.
Understand.
Yeah.
And from then on, I've tried. If I say I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. You know, that's the only one match I did pull out of. And then, like I said, it was to pull another match, but I said I heard a guy. You know, he wanted to pull. I said I'd pull him. I should have.
Right.
I probably should have pulled him. You know, but like I said, I've been trying to get that match for 2 or 3 years. What am I going to do? Turn the guy down now? And it's a good thing I didn't. I mean, it's really a good thing I didn't because I got a lot of game out of it. You know, so we'll see.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? There's time for both of you.
Oh, definitely. Ron's great. I think he went to a lighter class now. I don't know. Ron's not. I don't think he's pulling super heavies anymore.
Yeah, I mean, he was making 225. I don't know how hard it was. You know, he might be happy to be 245 now. You know, depending on how hard it was to make 225.
Possible. But you see, you didn't. The Bo Kaczynski there pulled Polo.
Oh, I saw.
Did you see the match?
Of course. That guy was going to break my arm. You know that, right?
He still thinks he came to practice. He came to practice like I was about 20 minutes from leaving, and he shows up. Philip's like for 3 weeks. He said, Philip's like, this guy's going to show up, Tim. He actually showed up the week before, an hour after we all left. So he shows up, and we're pulling. And I'm talking to everybody. You know how I do. I'm holding him in the middle. We're in a deep hook. He's shaking. And I found out later on, he told Philip, he said, I could beat that guy. I'm like, really?
I don't know, man.
He's got a hand. My 2-year-old grandson's got a hand bigger than him. So when he pulled Bo's style is so perfect to pull Polo style.
Sure.
It's pathetic. I said, Bo, just hit him normal. Don't even try anything else. And there was somebody come on. They saw one video of the second match. Like, I thought you beat him quicker than that, Bo. I'm like, dude,
are you not seeing?
He let him go back to the center of the table, and he's talking to him.
It's amazing what people see.
Oh God, yeah. But I mean, Bo, the first match, Bo had to. I kept telling him he had to turn, or he would have broke his arm. You know, I said, Bo, to pull back on him. Pull back. Don't pull across. You're gonna hurt him. And no, that's why he was pumping sideways because he didn't want to hurt his arm. I mean, that's the kind of people that's the kind of our team is. That's what our team does. We don't train to hurt people.
No.
Unless you're a jerk. No.
Well, hey.
There's always that one person.
I had no idea what you're talking about. Well, Tim, I've had you on for well over an hour now. It definitely
hasn't been that long.
It's been that long. Definitely appreciate you coming on. Saying I don't have another co-host, because Mr. Josh Grant's on his way to Worlds right now.
Yeah.
But always good catching up with you for sure. Let me know who you're pulling. We'll talk about what we're gonna do about it.
I definitely will. Thank you very much, brother.
All right, man. I'll fade it out here, and we'll